Now what you do, my dear, and yede Ebron Penfor at Nase, Medini Bio, the Chief Jerry Forson. And this morning I have a packed show, not because of the number of guests that I have, but the content. Nipa, and someone at that point, yeah, they, Yaniomo, Eba Betwitch Command, and some group no so Eba Betwitch Hong Command, and Emma program no, and Ashisha Pa. Penfor, you know, I'm not Betwitch and Command. You say, Mensa Nifaso, Nidikain, a parliamentary candidate for the Katamanso constituency. Ura Hobson Adoye, Ono Atlantisanso, and the national youth organizer of the NDC, George Opare Ado, Pablo, and your son Rani, and also Atlas in Pennyford, Mama Kwaba. But also, what do you want? Well, I son, I Yabeshan Comotration was no. Yen share in some minority led by Honorable Haruna Idrisu, and some of the two, Efa Equire or my Anabino Afaso, managing the COVID-19 pandemic. Yango Shemra.
Couldn't we have locked down much more earlier as a country, knowing the threat? Couldn't we have closed our borders much more earlier? Couldn't we have started massive public education in local languages? Couldn't we have developed our own humanitarian response plan earlier as a country if the president's approach in dealing with this threat was one which was national in character and national in form in dealing with it? We should have had a comprehensive strategic plan in place earlier, a document we have requested without success, making us wonder if there was one. We lost the opportunity to do all this and many more because President Nnawotwe, in our view, did not prioritize combating this virus as his #1 concern. Many professionals have observed that the data being published by the Ghana Health Service does not lend itself to meaningful analysis in the form it is presented. I mean, any of you who watches Euronews or Sky, even if you listen to the British health minister or holding forth prime minister in their brief, you can compare and make analysis out of the data made available than what is done in Ghana. What you are just told is 3,000 cases, recoveries, and deaths. That is not sufficient for any thorough health analysis. We need to know how many persons are affected, and for our view as a minority, testing, tracing, monitoring, and isolation should have been the order of the day from day one. The focus of this administration should have been on testing, monitoring, and where it is necessary, isolation. And therefore, we are disappointed at government's response to this matter. What we saw was ministries now being reduced to cooking centers. Can you imagine a ministry now undertaking cooking directly, as if it was the responsibility of a minister for gender and children or a minister for Zongo affairs to set up a wache or a kinky or rice factory at the castle? You can go and visit the castle. Some of the lost cooking pots are still around the Osu castle there. This is what Nnawotwe reduced it to. Even if you spend 2 million Ghana cedis a day, papaya standard, you should know what a vulnerable Ghanaian must be deserving of in terms of a dignified, honorable meal, and not that insulting package of food that was given out in respect of 2 million Ghana cedis. You further additionally said you needed 280 million Ghana cedis for that purpose. So shorten the period, multiply 2 million by the number of days of the lockdown, and we demand accountability for the rest of the money. No wonder we are hearing reports that PPEs are now being stolen. Who gives what to who, at what time, and who is accountable? We will not hesitate in demanding an audit into all expenditure related to COVID-19, whether the money came from internal sources or from the World Bank, IMF sources.
Well, so interesting concerns in a minority, Omurezi at their press conference. Now, the usual press briefing are buying led by the Minister of Information, the Honorable Deputy Information Minister, Honorable Pius, and Hajide, and address a conference, and also at the response to the minority for the Kayano, or the Tuja.
The misinformation, deliberate distortions, and warped analysis put out by the NDC flag bearer had been bemoaned and roundly condemned by many well-meaning Ghanaians. Just days ago, the presidential candidate of the NDC, Mr. John Mahama, in one of his COVID-19 political broadcasts on Facebook, embarrassed himself by ignorantly questioning why the government had accessed an IMF facility, claiming that no other African country had done so, an outright fabrication from a man who had occupied the high office of president a few years ago. 20 other African countries, including all the ones Mahama specifically listed, have assessed the IMF facility of $18 billion for African countries to help cushion them through the crisis. Indeed, the facility is interest-free and without the suffocating conditionalities that the IMF imposed on Ghana when forced by a toxic mixture of incompetence and insensitivity. Mr. Mahama and the NDC went to the IMF for a bailout and policy credibility. It is clear that the NDC minority was only called in to do damage control. Whilst it may ordinarily be a good thing for the NDC minority to have found their bearing and a voice several weeks after Ghana started confronting and containing the COVID-19 pandemic, it is pathetic that even upon hindsight, the minority is still unable to offer any pragmatic alternatives, but merely rehash those same lame queries that Mr. Mahama has asked during his political broadcasts on Facebook. Several weeks into COVID-19, and after several media engagements, both at the presidential and other levels, it is disappointing that such deep levels of unawareness is being exhibited by the minority. It is disappointing, for instance, that the minority is unaware that across the various metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies, public education is ongoing. It is shocking and even embarrassing that the NDC is still lashing onto the very bogus proposal that the government should have repatriated Ghanaian students from Wuhan. The students themselves have spoken to several media outlets and shown gratitude for the much wiser decision of the Akufo-Addo government. This week, schools, in fact, have reopened in Wuhan. And for the records, not a single Ghanaian student in China was infected by COVID-19.
Well, it's the Honorable Deputy Information Minister, Payosenam Hajide, and the response to Jan. Well, we will just delve straight into the conversation. But before that, I'm way into your discussion. As a tenrano, na Ghana, we are second to Nigeria in terms of figures. We are second to Nigeria. But after Enra, you should go through 4,012. And I pay Nigeria cases are recorded 3,912. Nigeria na no mudi kaino. Omu cases as at this morning. I'm checking. Na 3,912. Ghana your cases actually 4,012. It's say Ghana ha say league table la. To say at that top of the league table. But make sure say na say free Pablo hono. Pablo, clearly, Utie, Deputy Information Minister, you are misinforming the public. Adintia.
Dedi kan I mean chair with you for omutie and anope na menfa kwanya iso na menda Ghana for omoye frontline workers. Omo to omo ho asi o se ombeko etia COVID-19. Yenda omase se omo dedicate on because binia eyehu. Sabe yesori anopa na ye ba be di dwuma mpo hanoma. Obi anim omo fro car. Omo sabe omo be fro buses, omo be fro short. Na omo ba be do adwuma mu. Na omo ba di ana omo ba be to anamo a sabe ebe boa na akuyi ana yare ya be yesi ano. Yomokra, and Omodiato. Uko do fear, sabi the idea fee, or bar or tiffy, or mamia or tiffy. Unia be maybe or tiffy uncle baby. The risk are all ticky. Now I coffee now don't. As the other do fear, then our back or down, or the American the family man.
Okay.
So many times, you do fear. Me run me fear, my baby, I'm run me who
you cry fear, me fear, I'm ready. When you come back at a seat porch in him. To do what?
Na ansana ansana akame box ansana me wura ansana ma twene me mba kasa
enough of
nyame adome bia me no baby kakra eso obi a oti chamber home kwan ben so na offer ti endo mase minia se atrewenchem etoa yen fan kontompo ene ndada enko atrewenchem na COVID-19 na ababe doregane se yanfa no kware endi anim na ye ne se ye de ndada ene nkontompo na beko a sabe ebedi ye na kakra o ma mi nwu ye anaso o ma mi ewu na oba bonte na be kachire wi ase nyina so o ma mi nwu ye a obon a wi ase nyina na mansan nyina bete se o ma mi a wawu no hyedem obon ye minority there ye be koso ababan ne kokko ye be koso aka di hia ye be koso aka niema ye gidi se e be boa Ghana man no na se ye nuanom a omo wa aban mu no se nyame adom se ye raise issues no na so omo de no kware na omo de ose e be yoyo a e be boa Ghana man se minority ne ka se adenti na ya unlock it down in terma minia the first week in February, ending of January, and at WHO, and then the signals that call you baby as a outbreak yaba. The first week in February, now you see cases I started air cost now afi atra afi Wuhan. A P now countries are starting air recording cases. Yentuana mubia Ghana hanomo. Me too kind on the 8th of March, if he Ghana Hanomo. That time, now His Excellency President Anado, and the European tour. So. And at that time, the pandemic was out there. Now you are a double on thing. You entwana mubia, you be do Ghana 14th March. You recorded your first case on the 12th of March.
The first two cases.
First two cases. On the 14th of March, we be do Ghana Kotoka International Airport. Now me some government officials and they want the KLM flights. Maybe they do, you know. What I saw at the airport was thermometer guns here, you take key and temperature. And that was all. Me fear autonomous coffee. Me and Casa on my own. They decided to make quarantine home for 14 days because I was not too sure. But one of the senior government officials or heading one of the state agencies, that means there were flights in it. Monday morning, not one of the TV stations. So Monday morning, no, we arrived on the 14th of March, on the 16th of March. On the 16th of March, not the TV. So me shame me. Because I had decided, say, me home and cook if ye. Me baby I me share for 14 days. On the 7th day, and there are records to this, me on my own, I did my first test at the University of Ghana Hospital, Old Legon Hospital, no? And you knew one now, President Mama Daruma, you see, you know, the Old University of Ghana Hospital. I did my first test on the 7 days after. When the 14 days was over, the sign could be a career test. It was only when I had cleared myself after the 14 days. And I'm about to film. So for a very long time, will be some producers, I'll be bringing a friend. Told them, I am in self-quarantine. Will be answer me. Because I was conscious of the fact, say, man, you're careful, I said, me will be at the best honey. But the government official now, they also knew better. When we had recorded 2 cases, on the 13th, 14th, you know, cases, was on TV. You know, Doug Howard Mills, Doug Howard Mills on NDC. He also spoke about earlier lockdown. So I say, so if Doug Howard Mills and other members of the Ghana Medical Association also came out and insisted.
Well, Megidi said, Sofudaki was Mills or Kasai because he has a medical background. Medical doctor.
Yeah. And other senior people in this country also spoke about the same thing. Said we should lock down early. We locked down after a year, recorded first 2 cases. No, it took us 1 week, 4 days. Sunday did first restrictions. And then you may say it took us more than 2 weeks. Sorry, and Sunday President Ibabe announced it, said or locking down parts of Greater Accra, parts of Ashanti region, and then Kaswa. When this lockdown happened, but in most of our communities, public education was delayed. Because most of the education was in the English language. As you may say, Sabi, Ubia to Brofo. Intino, young Cabrofo, and Ghana. Ne Cabrofo, and a Sabi. Ghana for a better once to say Yadabiaba. But men are now or take Lebicro or Cabrofo or to pay you on the shade. So clearly, we lost the opportunity of containing virus. No? When we recorded our first 2 cases from 12 March. So the first day, the first restrictions nearby. It will be between about with dates now, but it was about almost 2 or 3 weeks. In between that time, spread the area. And for me, I have always maintained, sir, President Akufo-Addo, Sabi, or a penny, but he has been very dishonest in his discharge of his duties as president of this country. Yemfan kontompo imbumai. And I yemfan kontompo and kuntia pandemic to say COVID-19. Yede no kwaridie. No kwaridia mekan enene den. No kwarene se. Ye nyina se beji atuma. Numbers are aban yi two initially. Almost everybody are or what science background or figures had questions. A clear case, a professor they do Akosa one time. No, a Ghana Medical Association, no, a director general came out to question the figures because you know what? One day, one afternoon, number be what they told Ghana Health Services for websites and so on. Within 2-3 hours, and on me pull down number no of recorded cases. Police our number down no. No, the new old number no assign better.
No was run, I know of him.
No number no was so.
Okay.
And the new number no.
There's a possibility, sir. If you are figure out 200. New cases about confirmed cases about.
They had, for instance, there's another accurate. It's number 900. They came to put 1,040. Within 2 hours, signed by withdraw 1,040. I'm signing 900 nearby. And then after a day or two, they came back to put that same figure now on more withdraw. It gave credence to no more doubting figures now no more they trouble. Then the issue of testing, every year conversation they will say, oh, we've done more tests than any other country, and we've tested and here thousands of people. Then the question that people started asking is a duplication.
Pablo, 2 minutes.
A duplication and obviously there be until the deputy minister for health. And then you swear in Sadana that's now my sister station as Empire FM. And no, or your admission say you a duplication. It's so for instance, me, I did 2 tests. My first one was negative, my second one was negative. Okay, me, so 1 year, ABR, 13,000 tests. I thought Tibaku because it's the same person. But we're putting all those figures together. And that is how come they were giving us high figures. Meaning, Osha issues a minority are raising about how the distribution of food had gone.
And when we should have locked down.
When we should have locked down and all these things. I mean, Jim, this we've misled anybody in that respect.
Okay. Pablo Medase, Honorable Adoye. Mamin Brown, so. Nansenya, Honorable Kuboy, the Facebook page, Adi Atuja, say we're taking part in the World Health Organization conference, virtual conference. WHO, Ghana for Abaso, to quote him, Ghana has been listed as one of 6 countries chosen worldwide to present their inspiring management of COVID-19 pandemic. Ghana has been identified as one of the most innovative and effective countries at management of the virus. But when you know, is there something that the government is hiding from us? Did you hold my buying this year?
Yo, but that's it. Nedi can venture omo so nearby your doctor for nurses. Young woman so abaso na in some way kosi utie said yes kona asema wo kasi sie eye video wo ho no enye Ghana ha sei ene ye bronia or assess the whole world countries or mabom ho modern fighting this COVID-19 and it's clear Ghana at the number 6. The whole world, countries of my bomb who you're told to 6. And you sit down and say, President, I are dishonest in fighting this.
In Africa, you're that first. You're the number 1. As country, I record the cases.
The cases, they say, what did they? I don't know, a pandemic go. We'll be in shut down Congo farm. A idea of honum. Now, Obeda who say, case in Acostrana, same costro. This is our test. And I'm a boy. It's a testing quandia, by all means, Yabina. Nigeria for be at the rate I did testing. If you are no more course, so that you know. Or would we a rate now? Also, bones on Belgium Podica Empire. And the account because I would also sing a baby. 30 billion, more now, 200 and something million. So, yet, I don't know. Look, minority for issue or more raising in Ano. Maybe who say populace and then, finding relevance in the public space because almost sure almost say, oh, sadly way mapang politics in the Kaika Huntino. Ye pipi near family. Look, yet Harina Idrisu, Nisa more king and gets a by lock down in 10 Pablo. I confirm that. Oh, sorry, I know a logo. Oh, sorry, I know a logo. Kakray Campa, look at the suffering. Young Fabiani Kakra and Cono, Yamadi from so you need
when this say a bino lockdown, you lock it down in Temwa and can't
lock it down, Tem saying. Opening, send your bridge even Rana, I didn't start here, Crown. Tamben on lock down. Tambeng. What I say? Open on what systems? What shall we demoir? You can just order food. Na aduane na ba dia da ba be su kwan no ma no wafa no wati bibia wo pe bia no wo kita wo phone wo betima nya wo mo kra no look at what they are going through na ha say ya bisi basa wo information wo has number kra bi grandpa and na system bia so organ ha say what you say e bia na system bia so how do we locate you say problem aba wo share them wa share them wa say aduane obedi kra wo nya bi ni yem fa aduane emro ya better than yes, I don't know. So that you know. Eti proper planning. Na president, and yes, sir, ABR was sorry ape no was you make up yes, I do. Or team. Medical team or more advice. Yes. Or we bet my babontain like what was of bidding or babontain lockdown early in the Kaikan. Sir, were you a member of the team? They were advice president. It was more advice, no, the appropriate time one, as I said, you lock down. You just say association internet one, no. The team, no, association for the Sobokan. The national COVID-19 team one, Yatia, or more fatty side you win. Associate GMB members account, so that you know. It's air code say no. The American said, President took the right decision at the right time. Now, we share a dream maybe our castle, no. Tama near Makwine, this is near Pablo okay. MPP, government official now in Okoyeno. Say on testing positive here. Say go testing positive and case now will make you know able to say or buy and say yourself quarantine. Say the papa sanin grofo. one tested positive here. So on the yet said oh yeah ebia wakwakoye negative no we didn't even try the same pre mobile eti one so no one tested positive nanka eye senkoye self quarantine in the kai ka ho but nyankopo adom anka ne bi ye ka nyina ne say sa issue with the who are president a handle no be there medim say Ghana for bebre no eni aso wo moni aso pa wa lock down yen hwe ne kakra number 2 lockdown Ukraine more media for ankasa no one shut down more. Oh, and I will say this without fear. More shut down
lockdown no media for ya more.
Tie me who TV stations are even videos from outside Ghana na ye show sa soldier for a brutalizing crop video bia esi wo PNDC time esi wo be 1998 esi wo be 2004 na ye show our television stations na wo yes a soldier for na police for na o mo kese obi an hwefie no do you think some benya honden dey yes ade no because more criticize omo ade na mo teaching crop mo yes it has to take them to do extra work to come out and see say video na bu show no kra no sa esi be yes 10 years ago ade dey kai ka ho sa de nyina ebu omobam ama omontimi anya ne sene nka be yanko bia ntimi pia bonten na obi abehye dem okobretra ade democracy na nya omo ho ne yesu afri ye democracy fourth republic anya 28 years mu ne ewe if you want be 300 years if you want twam eko obonim eso hokra no I tell you say some ka say mempie na say opie a omo discipline ebe dia ye ka ayi human rights and the US for an US report US
but rather sa subo ade bo nsem trefui nsem no e kan no
of course
I mean
meba
some of these things later turned out to be true. Some videos in here
saying yes sit na fie mo bi fan be sane o na di pa say chinchina me di ba be sane o na ye o appreciate for discipline kakra and so your issue and your issue
obi wu wa shaman no obi wu wa shaman
meba na wu wa shaman no excuse me
no you are addressing
that's right
tama mo dey directives na ebe tudwa no mama Ghana for ante ase say yabebu upia bontia say in fact we heard the police say it is a humanitarian duty and omoba be performing. So then if it turns otherwise we as journalists don't we have the right to put to put out what is actually happening?
Do you think say we are more democratic than UK, we are more democratic than US in the Kaiga? Omo ye cham crofoti US every day omo shooting crofoku omo. Ye nka say binsi wa say. But what say
no dey ente ni how can dey ente. What say UK say US
ye
bonkofo
no na dey US me matra ho kakra. Omo bo hwe ombe ka kro. Every day police for kumu crofo. If you don't know, I'm telling you. But ye mpese sa de bi besi wa say. Na nka say ye boa. Ye force obi a ma de hwefie. What you say? Kese me area obi pie akwes for share no say okwakoto nsuo pure water and say sir omu dey na chi kokoto afi wo say oh binkeska omu dey no coffee omu be in the fridge na che say nsuo a ehye fridge no mu no aboma e kwa no omu dey no kokoshe mu what would they no eti some of these things no say yanka say yambo a omu yei ananka mu nsuo mu say oh police for and security for amu yei mo bomb ho modern no the more now manful pie no no ana say jeans am no tema test your mu ye rather ya got test nipa 1300 and something now emu 533 are tested positive and you think it's good a company so 533 are or tested positive we just imagine so bia no nipa 2 campaign pointata nipa say na omo ebe infected. So, and we need to look at some of these things and then make sure say ya here near etning. But the American man say
but on our news man.
Say pulling down figures near another you go chromatic other this 4-year propaganda PCB. A try no more than none now. Saturday near the number say I'm say 400 and something. No more try so ya 3,000 something. I didn't kakeka. I don't know what to me farmer me case wa hanum say ebia say anasi say but what I want to say and say NDC4 right from the word go, and politicize is a country biano, a national fight. Give me one country, just one. Our president, Amma update. No opposition leaders have a big update. Just give me one country on this group. Say MDC for if they are not the cause of this. What I say? Then you know, President resolute. Or again, I just say, on the obey. Lockdown. Yeah, Chediane. Mr. Mahama said, on so Chediane. And can a good thing. I don't know what. Say get any lockdown. What for no na Chediane or no? There are some no. Is it not campaign? I say you put restriction on campaign activities. Then you move from here to Sege constituency. Now go for them. Yeah, this is the flag bearer, Mr. Muhammad, the flag bearer. Yeah. Meanwhile, lockdown. They lockdown now. You are not doing it there.
Okay.
Now come baby. It is a politicization. And no, and affecting because President Kasagi now Mr. Muhammad Bejinaho. Now I criticize it, and I can say yeah. Obia wotifie no. Measure na eda ho no. On for the serious. Because NDC member president will be one chefie. Eti mumma ye na yenka ye humbom. Ni hu say ye go one country. Yeti hey o NDC one PP. O ye media person. Say e wo nipa ba ko ho a. Say asade ye gina. Ana me wa. Asade ye gina. Eti say ye gina ye jitu mu say, "Look, ade we yenka ye humbom." Na waba NDC COVID-19 team. What do you mean? What do you mean? What's the MPP COVID-19 team?
But say NDC for almost so much say some of these suggestions from the two Jano. And no one are buying wafa. For instance, stimulus packages, insurance package, Ura Mahama Kai say abiding, you know, non farmer frontline health workers near the end.
Mama man is accredited. Oh, now if you say Abayan take care, you say, oh my, I'm saying the second year and I said third year. I work I say you have a mass stimulus package. Muhammad was talking about senator in the guy. Why you president that? You know that it's impossible. And then you come out and then spew this. And just mere propaganda. Just to look relevant on the face of the public.
Okay. May I say, Orado, but let me put this on record. As a media man, I have also put my life on the line during this COVID-19 on the issue on the issue Orado Erezi. Yade by a lockdown by, we have been on the front line. Tama Ubia Shefie, we have given you politicians airtime. We have constant education. Ubia is Kabiao, Ubia Maeshu. And you know, I will take serious exception that you sit on my show and you tell me you
we are untouchable. But you can touch someone. We will touch you. We are going to touch you. You did not have the system. By putting force.
No.
CJ.
I take serious exception
to
this.
You're a media man, and then you are not you say, you are untouchable.
It means that the government is just being ungrateful.
We are mistaken. But that false, fake videos are now shared. And no, and the man, the spirit of the security, a call from our monthly man for so you
right.
And we take it in good faith. Your politicians, more criticizing here, we take it. So take it.
Interesting. Pablo.
Minia. Hobson. Mastran.
Manga propaganda. Accept that mechanic de Vijana.
Minia Hobson. Madame Papa. Na
Pablo,
I say hope to be honest. President Mahama spoke way before Ansana President Akufo-Addo at the stimulus packages CBA. The SNET issue President Mahama spoke about was just one of his last addresses. And you know, Mema throw dust into the eyes of the people. And same Libya, His Excellency President Mahama Erezi, were critical. Meaning, President Mahama started to PPEs. Yet NDC COVID-19 response team. We are a political party. We are a government in waiting, whether you like it or yes. That is what political parties do. Your main objective as a political party is not Our main objective is to win elections and govern. So there is nothing wrong. Say a political party whose core business is to win political power and govern. About said there is an outbreak. When the pandemic, when the Ebola outbreak happened, now you were a group on our team, work here. Mind you, Ghana was the base for Ebola in West Africa. So there was a team that managed the process. So we are reconstituting this team. Another Kaya president, Mama put it out there, say, if the president of the republic needs the services of these people, they are available. Why instruct you say, nobody called us.
But how have you tried to even get in touch with the Ghana COVID-19, the government's COVID-19?
When we constituted our team, we went into the procurement of PPEs. Emergency PPEs, of course, Ridge Hospital, which is one of the designated centers. Not government, and for PPEs in Kohonom. Sunyani, Director of Health Services. Or receive PPEs from government. Nanumu statement to make here, and I'm not say transferring from Bono.
But then okay.
He praised the NDC's team. So I'm the COVID-19 PPEs abromo. As at that time, you didn't even call. Now we're 2 or 3 weeks into the pandemic. Now you have one nose mask in embromo at the regional level from the Ghana Health Services. And he spoke. I'm telling you today, the number better than desk. So we said that manage COVID-19. To the extent that they issued directives that nobody should comment. No health service provider, no frontline worker, or any of the others should even pass a comment. The statements are out there in the public. You don't fight a pandemic like that. Okay? Minka said rumor mongering, and I said causing fear and panic. But when people are under the impression that people adhere more when there are pandemics. And now, His Excellency, he refuses to obey renew restrictions. No, he did not lift it. He only did not renew it. And as a lawyer, that is my thinking. When renew restrictions, no, one can say psychologically, a lot of people. I'm just saying, a lot of people who ordinarily would have taken certain precautions. Felt so you be there, then understanding they said they've contained it. And that was what the government communication sought out to do. So you're containing your area. The Deputy Director General, Deputy Secretary of Ghana Health Services spoke on one of the radio stations. The Monday morning now, President lifted restrictions and said the Ghana Medical Association was not consulted. Quickly, and on arranging a meeting, he lifted the restrictions. And then that Monday now, or lifted restrictions, no, Ushia Ghana Medical Association. What went into the thinking? The president, over the days, had told us he was depending on the data and science. Dr. Nsiasa Rebecca Chen said, it is not the science you and I were thinking about, but it was social science that informed the decision. So I'm more lifted restrictions. No, I understand the fact Hobson raises. There were challenges. But the question is, now who caused them? There were challenges in distribution of food. Who caused it? They used members of parliament on the NPP side. And there is a social media video of the member of parliament for Ikaneshi area, Hokra saying, Okaikwe Bibi, Ahmed Atta or somewhere. Why video, if you say, a Niema Minister for Gender, Ediaman in Yesa on check. And on Nakasani Niema, all change to they did not give any minority member of parliament. We saw the Dr. Nnawotwe video. We all saw it because private sector for the I was part of the team on a few occasions. Private sector for and we did that minus politics. But government, we saw how MPP constituency women organizers were giving the contracts to cook. Hobson here and I here are politicians.
Pablo, on that, personally, I can show you pictures of dry food and then the NDC parliamentary aspirants pictures.
That is if me, George Pariado, as a private citizen, it decided to turn Yema. Now made a picture about him. There is nothing wrong with it. But if government of Ghana funds, now Minister for Gender, yeah, the man say, Chema Ghana for she has no rights. So they are buying the picture. And now will be picture. That is the difference. And let's not confuse the issues. If on my own, private sector for their normal everybody knew that it was coming from the private sector. They told the whole world say we're private sector for and almost they didn't spoil anything. No. Government there now all channel. No member of parliament has the rights. So then the picture because they know you seeker and I talking about politicization of this COVID-19 pandemic. Minia, where did the politics start from? It started from NPP4. The day President Akufo-Addo made that statement, said, we know how to bring back the economy to life, but we don't know how to restore human
How
rights.
political is this?
I'm not saying it's from, the day he made that statement, I'm not saying that it's the statement that started the politics. So the day, I said that is when the politics of this whole thing started. Okay. When that statement was made, that is when he told us, they were coming to feed people. And we all saw how NPP communicators the next morning ran to the public, telling the whole world, say, hey, President Bimba, this issues are we elect leaders to deal with challenges. So when they started talking politics, and our tell idea also, and our way, and you who be that, even media men joined in that praise sing. Like I said, we are a political party. When issues come up, the only way we do is to respond to the issues. Around the same time, now, frontline workers, people is crying and more movie. But people were singing praises. Akufo-Addo has become more of a talker than action. In some people in a casa, but you don't see the actions on the field. A lot of things has been said. So we are doing this, we are doing that, we are doing this. The brain see. Then you come and speak to the issues of the economy. Meaning, your first fund, Okofa Stabilization Fund. Somebody set up the stabilization fund. Unya almost 200 million Ghana cedis from the stabilization fund. And then I'll be our light bill. And then I'll be our water bill. So when you decided, say, you will do politics with the issues, no? It was just proper to give credits. So, you buy it because the Akufo-Addo on many occasions have told us, oh, buy it, no, one better share our coffers. But you found 200 million from the stabilization fund. And that will be time. And I'll set it to home. To the extent that your heritage fund and that impono. Say, me know you near Ambre, Anka sent here, they were going to take money from the heritage fund and so. So you've raised critical issues. The only way the other side will do is to respond to you. But let's not lose sight of the fact that we are faced with a pandemic. And take it or leave it. Government has not dealt with this pandemic the way you expect to say with it. No.
Okay.
Our figures today are 4,012. When they give you these figures, you as a journalist, are you able to make sense of the figures? They'll tell you 4,000, 300 here recover 18 deaths. Nipa you name ages. Do you know the ages of the people who have died? Are you able to do any analytical analysis of these figures? When you throw vague figures out there, you leave it for people's own interpretations.
Okay. But Pablo, Enra, mene honorable Kwabena Kando to train komo on Jason Sem Adom FM. Me bisa na sem bi batimuaya no answer da meye on the NDC COVID-19 team. Sisi akwa am some chipping similar question, but and also went me and Yano. Quite bang and NDC for no man kasankasan wetimi afaso to conduct an independent research into some of these figures that you are disputing.
You see, I have not sat here to dispute these figures. Let's get that understanding. What I just said, Mr. When they give you 4,012, I'm saying 4,012, they know that really. And Bema saying the womb, and by saying the womb. How do you make sense of these figures? when you are putting out statistics, people use this to plan. Okay, there's 365 and I recover. What are their age ranges? The percent a woman the percent a woman it helps you plan. When you give me the nipa 18 and they all had underlying conditions, that has been the English. What were their age ranges? What underlying conditions did they have? When I have these figures, as an individual, because you see, the issue of COVID, no, the fear factor alone can kill you. We are also fighting another challenge of discrimination. Because nobody wants to get close to you.
The stigmatization
and discrimination. Stigmatization, they say you got also. But the discrimination is that nobody even wants you close to him. So you are being discriminated upon. The issues are that if we have a thorough understanding of some of these figures, now it will make sense out of these figures. Stigmatization, you know, because if 18 people have died, and I'm told say, they had diabetes, this person had this condition, this person had this condition. Not me any of these conditions, not me be in power. They were we say these things will not reach my death. Now the issue of what research have we conducted, meaning research takes time. And I can assure you, sir, we have reached out to the Christian Council. Even yesterday, we made a donation of PPEs to the Christian Council. Okay. We made to the GPRTs the day before yesterday. Almost all the major regional hospitals in this country, the COVID-19 response team, we are also gathering our independent data. What we cannot say today, because you see, there are very few labs are testing. Private people are not entitled to do the testing. So it is the information now, if you private labs, you know, and I imagine you're putting it out. When you are doing a research, it is not just about figures being thrown out. It is about the causes. And now, for instance, I'm in a circle, I'm in a cook room, I'm in a commie office. So I use the circle, old PNT and Honomo. When I saw the crowd and the gunman of Mudija, and so many of them didn't have nose mask on. Middle office, I met one of the members of the COVID-19 response team, and I asked him, sir, have you guys paid attention to how people, they have a team in the field. You
mean a member of the NDC?
COVID-19 team.
Okay.
So they have a team in the field, and very soon, they'll put something out. So clearly, the understanding I got was that some work is being done. But even though we've not come out with our findings yet, and I know that when all is done and said, a report to be put out, because you can only put out a report, properly so-called, because it is an emerging pandemic. It's, you know, you cannot critically do any proper research. Every research will be a provisional. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because it's an emerging pandemic. It's will be a provisional. But I can assure you that with time, we will put out something and tell people even how some of the spreads have happened. You've seen the team. You've seen the members of the team. It's a crack team. And we don't have any issues.
If it's a crack team, now but if I
saw any PP is now more supplying. If I saw
is that enough?
Education now or more. We've done a lot of public education. Dr. Grace Ayensu has been on many platforms.
Platform they say United
has been on many platforms educating. We are all over the country, in the regions, in the constituencies, doing mass education.
But you know, we are looking at the time. And this COVID-19 team, okay. So we have also done our independent research, and so, and I have find it out. Meaning that test samples, they are called Noguchi, called KCCR. Of course, we know the strength of Noguchi and KCCR. Then we know that there's an opposition.
But if CJ, when you do this, you are being so unfair. The number of times President Mahama have spoken. Policy decisions are buying we are implementing.
In a minute,
Policy decisions are buying we are implementing. 80% of them have come from President Mahama.
Wow.
And if you give me time, we will critically analyze all of them. And when those statements were made,
I may not be able to give you the time
and
for
then
now.
we'll make those analysis. It is when he speaks, where did all those responses come from?
Pablo, it's exactly 9 in the morning here on Adom TV. Oti and Council Asempa 94.7 FM. Nnawotwe Jumedi esuni, and the conversation is getting more and more interesting. Yet you have by pressure eba mumbia sorry na yanko bompaye na yanko sum yanko pomumie school na say is this the right time? And of course there are more questions, sir. Yaba bibi sampeni for me, you know. Yaba.